A musical legend, a veteran. That is what the world has lost yesterday night as the news came in of Ustad Zakir Hussain having passed away. Zakir Hussain, the legendary tabla player and multiple Grammy Award winner, is no more with us. He died at the age of 72 in the United States of America. In a statement, his family has said that the cause of death is due to pulmonary fibrosis. Hussein's career spanned over 5 decades, during which he was revered as both a national treasure and an admired musician worldwide. He was someone who defined the genres and collaborated with an impressive range of musicians, including jazz saxophonist Charles Lloyd, bluegrass artists Edgar Meyer and Bella Fleck, as well as rock stars George Harrison and Van Morrison. If you were to just take a quick look rather, into the vast legacy he has, the titles the maestro has won over time. The musician has worked with several renowned international and Indian artists. But it was his 1973 musical project with English guitarist John McLaughlin and violinist L. Shankar that brought together Indian classical and elements of jazz in a fusion. The percussionist, one of India's most celebrated classical musicians, received the Padma Shri in 1988, the Padma Bhushan in 2002, and the Padma Vibhushan in 2023. Right now, joining me on the broadcast is my colleague Sudha Sadanand to, in fact, have a conversation on this rather unfortunate and tragic demise. Sudha, a very good morning to you. We're at a loss since last night, ever since this news came in. The world, not just the musical world, but the world in itself has lost a legendary musician.
Absolutely, yes. What terrible news. I mean, we've lost the beat of our nation, Ustad Zakir Hussain, who passed away. You see, the greatest contribution, apart from the fact that he was a maestro, he was a genius when it came to playing the tabla. He started very early at the age of 7, initiated by his father, Ustad Allah Raha Qureshi. And, there's a small legend about when Zakir Hussain was born. Usually, in their community, they whisper a prayer into the ear of a newborn, but Ustad Allah Rakhaji whispered the an of the tabla or the tap of the tabla. And when the mother of Zakir Hussain said, why on earth would he do that? He said, that's our mantra starting today. Zakir Hussain started practicing at the age of 7, and of course, we know the virtuoso that he was. But what is the most important contribution is that he put Indian music after Pandit Ravi Shankar truly on the world map with Shakti. In 1970s, early 70s, John McLaughlin, V.Q. Vinayakram, L. Shankar, and of course, Zakir Hussain formed Shakti and took Indian music to the world when the world sat up and realized that yes, this civilization has a tradition of music for the last 4,000 years. But if this is what they can do and mesmerize us, then there must be something extremely special. Also, what Zakir did very, very successfully was that starting 70s, the interest in classical music was waning. The mehfils were reducing. Zakir Hussain took tabla to every home. He made tabla so simple that everybody today must remember the way he made sounds of the train traveling over a bridge with his tabla. Also, how do you have a conversation? There are videos which are there, on YouTube where he and Pandit Vinayakram on ghatam and Zakir Hussain on tabla, actually have a conversation with their respective percussion instruments. So you can talk with it, you can actually, and he always said that it is a student who inspires a teacher to teach better. So it was my interest in playing tabla that actually, inspired my Abbaji, that is my Guruji, that is Ustad Allah Rakha Khan Sahab, to teach me tabla. So this is a story of a man who, like I said, is a virtuoso, is a maestro, but he put us on the map of the world today. everyone in the United States of America, they are all in tears because they remember him as a mentor, as a teacher who would laugh and joke with them, but also teach them the rigor of Indian classical music, Shreya.
Absolutely, Sudha. In fact, you know, when we speak of Ustad Zakir Hussain having put India on the world map with regards to music, we see a line of such celebrated collaborations that, I mean, at that age and time was unheard of, especially for Indian musicians to, you know, delve into something of this sort. It was a completely new and unexplored arena, be it jazz, be it rock, be it planet drum. There are a list of collaborations. If we just steer the conversation a little towards that.
You see, the thing is that he was very lucky, he always said. He says, in my block where I lived in Bombay, it was called Bombay, then not Mumbai. He said, I was the only kid who listened to Light My Fire. So he knew the Doors, he knew the Beatles, he knew the Who. He knew the best kind of music because his house was an open house when it came to you listen to whatever music you have to learn, but keep with the tradition of the family because both his brothers, whether it's Faisal or Tawfiq, they all are percussionists. So it was a thing that, you can learn whatever. Also, he heard a lot of Hindi film music. Being in Mumbai, he was a great fan of the late R.D. Burman, popularly known as Pancham. He would go to Film City, sit there, listen to his music. He would then, at his home, which was also an open house, he heard a lot of famous musicians. So when he went, he first did, a concert with the famous George Harrison, the Beatles. Of course, George Harrison was initiated into Indian music by Pandit Ravi Shankar, who played the sitar along with Zakir Hussein's father, Allah Raha Qureshi. So that's how they all met. And, they had a comfort level. And then whether it was Van Morrison, whether it was John McLaughlin, then it became a natural, trajectory or a projection that it became so easy for all of them to kind of collaborate. Zakir Hussain always said, and this is a room full of percussionists. Someone plays the drums, someone plays some other instrument. That's a jazz saxophone player. So-and-so plays the kanjira. So-and-so plays violin, Western violin. But at the end of it, all of us are in the quest of how to play it perfectly. And we know that we will never get there. And it is so magical because we will never get to perfection. We get to meet each other again and again, Shreya.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sudha, for joining us on the broadcast. And well, the discussion at this point doesn't end there, but yes, this is the unfortunate, tragic news that we are bringing to you, ladies and gentlemen. A loss to the world of music, a loss to the world in general, with Ustad Zakir Hussain saying Alvida and goodbye to all of us as he passes away at the age of 73.